Hello everyone, welcome to soundproofguide.com. In this video, I'll be talking about something a little different. Usually I talk about how to soundproof something, but in this video, I'll be talking about how not to soundproof something, the things that don't really work that well. Now, I've been looking online and a lot of these soundproofing websites has a lot of good information on how to soundproof walls, windows, or whatnot, but some of them has really weird suggestions on how to soundproof, and these are the things that I'll be talking about. The things that you shouldn't do because you're basically just wasting your money by using either some of these products or some of these methods on soundproofing. Now, also a lot of people has a little bit of a confusion between soundproofing and sound absorption. Now, of course, soundproofing is you want to block as much sound as you can from, let's say, a door, window, or wall. That is what soundproofing is. Sound absorption is a little bit different, whereas you just want to make the room sound better. So you want to get rid of the echo. Let's say you have a media room or you have a room where you want to do podcasting. You want the room to sound a lot better, so you add things on the wall or even furniture. Big plush furniture will do a good job at absorbing a lot of the sound, but mainly you want to add things on the wall like acoustic foam or acoustic panels. Now, of course, acoustic panels are going to work a lot better than just acoustic foam because, of course, acoustic foam is a lot cheaper also because you can get like sometimes a pack of 24 for like $50, but an acoustic panel, it's more like $100 per panel for a really good quality acoustic panels, one that would be about 2 feet wide and 4 feet tall, 2 inches thick. Those are really good acoustic panels that you can add on the wall to make the room sound a lot better. However, it does absolutely nothing to soundproof the room. Some people would argue that by doing this, you're eliminating a lot of the echoes, so a lot of the echoes is not traveling through other parts of the house, which is a little bit of soundproofing. I guess you could look at it that way, but really in this video, we'll be talking about some things that people suggest that are just wrong, that you shouldn't do because you'll just be wasting your money, or things that they kind of work, but they don't really work by themselves. So by doing a certain method, you'd have to add something else, a second or third layer of soundproofing to really maximize that soundproofing method. So the first one that some people suggest, of course, are these. Now, I just basically mentioned that sound absorption and soundproofing is quite different. Now, some people will say, well, add some of these on the wall and it will help block some sound. It doesn't help block any sound whatsoever. It'll make the room sound a little bit better. But even then, these types of panels, unless the wall is completely full of it, then it's not really worth even doing. Now, I do have a video talking about how to transform a closet into a recording booth, and I use these types of acoustic foam. Now, in that type of situation, it does work very well because it is a small enclosure in a closet. Now, you can fill the entire wall and ceiling of the closet with this stuff, and it works perfectly to make the room sound a lot better. It does absolutely nothing to soundproof. So if somebody suggests you can soundproof a wall by adding this on the wall, no, doesn't work. If you like this type of content, consider subscribing to my channel. Number 2 is soundproofing paint. Now, I've talked about soundproofing paint in some videos. So does it work in reducing decibels? Yes, it does. But it will only reduce the decibel amount by maybe 2 or 3. And the thing is, you have to add at least 3 coats of this type of paint on the wall to get any noticeable results. So if you have a really big wall to paint, it can get pretty expensive because the amount of paint you would have to buy you'd have to at least buy a 5-gallon pail because you have to add at least 3 coats. 1, 2 coats, not good enough. It's at least 3. Now, some people ask me, okay, can I keep adding another coat and another coat and another coat? Okay, can I add 10 coats? Well, it would be a lot cheaper and it would probably take you a lot less time just to add a second layer of drywall and forget about the paint whatsoever. I have actually used this paint in the past. It has made a little bit of a difference, but not enough to really justify how much money you're putting towards that soundproofing project. If you really don't have the space to add any insulation, any second layer of drywall, and you have a really small wall, then perhaps you can add a few layers of paint, but really it's not going to give you the amount of soundproofing that you're going to hope or going to expect, because by eliminating 1 or 2 decibels, you'll see that on a sound meter, but your ear is not really going to notice the difference. So I would skip that method completely. Another one that some people suggest is soundproof wallpaper. Now, there's not really anything out there that is called soundproof wallpaper. That's just something that I've even called it as almost like a keyword because some people search for soundproof wallpaper, so that would actually come up. But really, it's another noise deadening material because a lot of these wallpapers, yes, they are thicker, they are plusher also, and that is what acts as a sound absorption. So they kind of act like a sound absorption panel in a way, but just not as good as a sound absorption panel. So this type of wallpaper will not do much of anything regarding high and low frequency noises. So traffic noise and high pitched noise, it will absolutely do nothing to mitigate that type of noise. So it's not really something to look into when soundproofing a room. Another one is cellulose insulation, that type of spray insulation that people use. Now this is really good insulation for heat and cold. So if you want to keep your house cool in the summer and warm in the winter, this is a great type of insulation for this type of application. But for soundproofing, it doesn't really do anything at all. So using a spray foam insulation as your only soundproofing method is going to be a fail. So if you do want to soundproof a wall and you do have this type of insulation, it's perfectly fine, but the insulation itself is not going to help soundproof a wall whatsoever. So if you are looking into soundproofing and you need to add insulation and you're thinking that this type of insulation will add a lot into soundproofing, it's not really going to add much of anything. So if you already have this spray foam, add a second layer of drywall and make sure it's thicker drywall, a 5/8" drywall, or even if you want to go even further, you can add a soundproof drywall. Usually these soundproofing drywall has 2 layers of gypsum and something in between. Usually it's a sound absorption compound that they smush in between to kind of deaden a lot of the sound that comes or tries to come through the drywall. It is a little bit more expensive for this type of drywall, but really if you don't have a lot of area to soundproof, I do recommend using this type of drywall because yes, you will pay a little bit more. It will only reduce a little bit of sound, but like I said, if you only have 1 room or 1 wall to soundproof, then you probably should use this type of drywall. If you want to know more about this type of drywall, I actually have a video. There's a link up here that talks about different types of soundproof insulation. So no, soundproof drywall. So check that out. Another one is egg crates, like actual egg cartons that you just flip over, you put on the wall, and it's supposed to soundproof the wall, but it doesn't soundproof the wall. It doesn't even make the room sound better. Egg crates does not work in absolutely anything other than storing eggs. This stuff works, you know, it works a little bit. Egg crates does not work whatsoever, period. Now, if you disagree with me, please let me know in the comment section, but Now, I do have somebody that did tell me that egg crates worked great for him, but he sprayed the inside of the egg cartons with Flex Seal. You know, that liquid rubber compound? Now that can get a little bit expensive because a can of Flex Seal isn't cheap, and you'd have to use a lot of it to fill in the egg crates, and then to have enough egg crates to fill in a wall, which is completely useless. You might as well just go to your local hardware store or online and just buy acoustic panels or acoustic foam. It'll probably be cheaper than egg crates filled in with Flex Seal. Yeah, anyway, that's a weird one. So the next one is mattress. Somebody suggested that you should use mattresses to soundproof a wall. Have you ever heard of something like that? I think I've mentioned something like that if you're trying to soundproof a door in a hotel. Now, if you're really like, yeah, you can soundproof the door of the hotel with a mattress, I guess, if you put it against the door. I don't know. Carpets, mattress on the wall. Doesn't really work that well. And finally, the last one is a little bit, yeah, I don't know. Some people actually suggest this. Dark colored walls. What do you think of that? Dark colored walls. Do you think that painting the wall black or dark gray will soundproof the wall? It doesn't make any sense, does it? Because of course, color will affect the eyes and will affect the temperature probably in a room, because if the sunlight hits the black wall, it'll attract heat more. It'll make your room not only feel smaller, it will make your room hotter, it will make it uncomfortable, it will put you in a depression, and you just don't really need that in your life. And it will do absolutely nothing in terms of soundproofing, which is why you're here watching this video. You want to know, what can I do to soundproof the room? Do not use black paint to soundproof the wall. Now, if you've seen somebody mention that, let me know. Because I've seen it a few different times online and on YouTube videos, and I was just thinking to myself, that is a really bad idea and a waste of money. So let me know in the comments if you've tried it, because I'd like to know. So that's about all I could find. I tried to find other weird suggestions on soundproofing methods that does not work, but I just couldn't really find anything else. I went on a few message boards. So if you have any soundproofing methods that you've heard that you think that probably doesn't work, or you just want to ask me, does this thing work? Please let me know in the comment below, and I will for sure answer your question. Feel free to take a look at many of our other YouTube videos and also some of our articles on our website, soundproofguide.com. Don't forget to click the like button if you enjoyed this video, and also consider subscribing to our channel if you like our content. Also, feel free to leave us a comment below if you have any soundproofing questions of your own. We will certainly try our very best to help you. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video or any other videos in our channel. Thank you very much.